Wyoming School Board meeting for Monday, September 9th, 2024 to order. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Want that one, Rich?
So then we will do a roll call of board members. We'll start with Director Winter.
Ron Winter.
Sonia Peterson.
Jeremy LeBlanc.
John Odegaard.
Matt Temple.
Laurel Christensen.
Thank you. We have our agenda for this evening. I am not aware of any additions or corrections. Does anyone else have anything? If not, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve by Sample.
And a second?
Second by LeBlanc.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The reading of the Wyoming mission statement I will do is to provide a caring environment of high expectations that prepares every student for a successful future and instills the value of learning. Moving on to the public address to the board, I don't see anyone here, but if there is anyone, or anybody knows of anyone. All right, we'll move on. Consent agenda, items 7.1 through 7.4, including meeting minutes from August 12th, payment of claims, finance report, and enrollment report. Anyone have any questions on any of those items? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving on to reports, we will start with Mrs. Hanson for the Burt Rainey Elementary report.
Good
Hello.
evening. First item on my agenda is just a copy of the back to school for staff. I think you had that probably last month. We just wanted to include that. Open house at Burt Rainey. So as you probably recall, we do the open house on Wednesday evening from 5 to 7. And we, just because of how our students are aligned in the building, we're able to track who comes and who isn't there. And this year I think was probably one of our highest attended open house. 219 out of 240 families attended open house. So about 91%, so that was really
Great.
good. And I will tell you that some of the 9% we haven't seen yet, so it's actually a little bit higher. So very impressive. Just wanted to give you a couple things. First week recap. I will say it was a really busy one. I think, of course, by the end of Friday, everybody, staff and students, were tired. It was a really good 4 days. Weather cooperated, kids were excellent, parents were thrilled. A lot of cheers as they dropped their kids off Tuesday, so it was a good 4 days. Couple unusual highlights, like Thursday, the 5th, was Watermelon Day at Burt Rainey, so all students in preschool through 5th grade got fresh watermelon for our healthy snack day. And as you probably recall, you approved our ELA approval for a new reading program, and that is already in full swing. And we had a very intensive 3-hour training on the first afternoon of back to school week, but staff have already begun their lessons. And I had shared with Mr. Schneider and Mrs. Hinz earlier today that it's so wonderful. Like, you could go, like, let's say you go from 3rd grade room A to 3rd grade room B, they're already on the same lesson. So one of the concepts with the new program that we really wanted to see was that it doesn't matter who your child's teacher is, they're going to get the same instruction. And I saw that many times over. Even just today, every time I walked in another one, I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. So teachers are working extremely hard. It is very intensive. Of course, it's all new. And even though we had a 3-hour training, you just have to get in. You just have to dig in. They're planning together on Thursdays during prep time for the upcoming week for their CKLA. And that way, you know, they can bounce ideas off. I know PLCs are even having that as a discussion topic as well. Number 4 on my agenda, the Jordan project. I'm actually gonna skip that because Mrs. Hinz is gonna cover that in detail. Also just wanted to touch base on the cell phone policy at Burt Rainey and kind of how that's going. So on Tuesday, first day of school, I had an opportunity to go into all 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classrooms, mainly because, not that we don't have K2 kids with phones, but you see much more in 3, 4, 5. And so I was able to go into all their classrooms, go over the cell phone policy with them. They had great questions. You could tell they had been thinking about it. And I'll be honest, to date, we have not had a single phone brought to the office, which means they're following the rules. A special thank you to not only the students, but I know parents had conversations, and definitely our teachers worked through those details with their students. So it's been just obvious that that discussion's happening other than just from 1 or 2 people. So thank you to everyone, but kids have been great. Staffing update. So 3 different areas I'm going to just touch on. So certified. And one of the things that I want to touch on is, you probably know, so we typically have 2 people in our title program. And this particular year, we had a long-term sub in 2nd grade that could not be filled. And so one of our title teachers was pulled to cover that, and she will be there until the 21st of October. And you also know that we added a 3rd section of kindergarten, which was absolutely necessary because our numbers, you know, continued to increase. And so I just kind of want to walk you through like what that looked like, because what ended up happening then was we added that section. We had no viable candidates for that. And so on the Sunday before open house, so Sunday, then you had Monday off, teachers did. They came back for Tuesday back to school. On Sunday, after administratively we had a list, we looked at every possible option. I reached out to Mrs. Shackelford, who had just been in kindergarten, like days prior, had just finished moving her stuff, and told her, I said, you know what, we really need you. She's like, I've got it, we'll do this. So if you've ever had anyone in your family that's an elementary teacher, it's near impossible to set up a classroom in days. She had 72 hours from that moment on Sunday until open house. So I sent out an email to all of my Burt Rainey staff Sunday late afternoon and just said, hey, and they kind of knew the situation already, but I said, you know, Mrs. Shackelford just moved all of her stuff upstairs, so that means the elevator, lots of carrying, and I said, we now need to get her back down. 20 people responded within hours. We had a sign-up sheet. 20 staff members came in on their day off to help. And so that all went down. Sunday night, my phone never stopped lighting up. Text messages, phone calls. I can do this. So we just started, that spreadsheet just kept getting larger and larger, and came in Monday morning extra early. Mrs. Shackelford came, and over 20 people showed up for hours, and did everything as minor as did her locker tags, or did her, you know, things that kids look for when they come in for open house. Got her reading materials ready, you know, I mean, it was very, very impressive. So I just really want to say that was another great example of Burt Rainey, because we've seen that time and time again over the years. Everybody just shows up, and I shared that with our new staff. I said, you just got a really good glimpse of who we are and how we help each other out. So really want to just thank everyone for that. Meanwhile, we're currently working through the title situation. looking at a lot of different scenarios because that's a really important role. The reality is right now there are no teachers. And so we're looking at all different kinds of options for how we might be able to do some of that. So I would say stay tuned to that. Paraprofessionals, as new students have moved in, we've had some additional needs, and so we have been very lucky to hire 2 full-time special ed paras, one of which I believe is on the agenda tonight. Just a big thank you to all of my paras. Their flexibility and their schedules, and like literally 10 minutes before I got here tonight, another schedule change. That happens with student needs, but they are very flexible and certainly appreciate that. The other thing that I just wanted to touch base on was, I know that you're aware of our urgent situation for substitute teachers, and I just want to put a plea out there again for anything you can do to help. I would say we are at a point now where we are exhausting every possible situation. So if you go back to last year, we had 2 title teachers. So when you exhaust your certified substitute list, and that means well beyond our Red Rover program. That means Nicole's calling and texting, I'm calling and texting. Many mornings begging, not exaggerating. When all of those options were exhausted, then we do a sign-up sheet. And so as a 3rd grade teacher, you get a 50-minute prep. And so staff then have an opportunity on this spreadsheet to sign up for in 25-minute chunks to help cover that. So there might be a day a child in our building could have 6 to 8 different teachers. It's all day long. But sometimes when that wouldn't work, we would have to pull title. Like I would maybe have said to Mrs. Lysap last year, I'm down 3 teachers, can you help from 1:30 to 3? We don't have that option anymore. So as an example, tomorrow I have 1 certified teacher out. We right now cannot cover it. We have the afternoon from 12:30 to the end of the day covered, nothing else. And that is after Nicole and I have gone through every name on that list. So I just, if you have any ideas, please share them with us. It's a tough spot because on some of those days, we might have 4 or 5 staff out. We are not going to, I don't know how we will cover that. So just wanted to share that with you. Kind of a fun event. Tomorrow night we have Build-A-Bear event for ECFE, which is sponsored by the Fagan Golf Scramble. 50 participants, we had to close it, and we have a waiting list. That was within, like we had opened it, within 24 hours we had 38 people signed up. So kudos to that staff who organized that, and the Bears all showed up today, and so tomorrow night will be a fun evening. The other thing I just really want to end with tonight is a positive note. Another shout out to my Burt Rainey students. So prior to last Friday night's football game, a letter went home from Mr. Knapper and I, and we did some of this last year towards the end of the season, but it was to parents reminding them of our expectations, appropriate behavior at football game. From there, classroom teachers went over that letter. It was on morning announcements, we even put it on the TV screens. I mean, the kids were hearing it constantly. And then I was able to supervise Friday night's game. A+ behavior by our kids. And there were some things they were used to doing that they didn't get to do anymore. Respectful. They came in, there were a few things like, could we do this? You know, asked great questions. I was very proud of them. And they were even good about, letting me know if anyone from the other team was doing things they weren't supposed to. But excellent, so proud of them. So wanted to end on a very positive, so. Questions for me?
I have a question.
Yes.
So now that there's 3 sections of kindergarten,
Yes.
is it divided equal? So
Yes.
they each have, 17? I can't do that.
Yes,
17
and I don't have the numbers in front of me. Sometimes that might vary by, like, let's say on Wednesday night of open house, they were all 16, 17, 18, whatever.
Okay,
Johnny doesn't show up for school,
Mhm.
or Susie comes to register. I don't typically, like, I wouldn't take one out of Ron's room to put in your room at the last minute.
You would or you would
Would
not?
not.
You would not?
No, if they already know that's their child's
Mhm.
teacher,
Okay,
unless
yep,
it was an extreme situation like 3 or 4, then yes.
okay,
We have had to do that in the past, like for one-to-one para coverage,
Mhm.
if, you know, they can share, that also happens.
okay.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but usually
It's
they're
like
within,
51 with the enrollment report that we have, I don't know. if
you know
that's
what,
up to date
I
today.
have the classroom one on my phone.
I was just.
But the goal is always to have it be as close.
As equal as possible. right?
Absolutely. Sometimes it's gone as far as like 3 off over the years, but
Right.
then when a new child comes in, then they go to the teacher that has the least amount of kids. I
And
think.
so it looks like kindergarten is the grade in elementary with the highest numbers right now.
I
that
would
seem
say
correct?
they have to be very close to 4th, but let me see if I can.
It's like first, well, like I said, I don't know if this is today or, but first
It
grade.
was
is-
last Thursday.
So right now
Last
I
Thursday?
have, okay, right now in kindergarten I have 51.
Mhm.
So in that room, we have 16, room 1, 16, room 2, 17, and room 3, 18.
Okay, so it is
So-
very close, yeah.
Very close.
Okay.
And I will tell you that when, like that 18 has a child in there that we haven't seen yet.
Okay,
So that's kind of like why someone else got the 17, if that helps.
sure.
First grades, I believe, is at 51. Fourth grade's at 47, that would be our next. So, yeah, I mean, great problem to have.
Right,
So,
right, yes,
yeah,
it is a
yeah.
very good problem to have, yes, thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay,
for a
thank you.
great report
Yes,
here.
thank you.
All right, Mrs. Hens for Municipal High School. Hello, everybody.
Hello. I have all sorts of fun things to share tonight, so move on here. Cell phone update, things are going well, just like what Lisa said. All of the kids, we have 2 confiscated 2 phones. That's it. So, I am really impressed with how the staff and the students are handling it. It's really changed the building, the atmosphere, seeing them in the hallway, looking at each other and talking and having conversations, and it's been really, really nice. So, thank you for the support on that. We did kind of find a little bit of a glitch, which we thought, we know we will. And the main one is, they want their ear pods to go to strength and conditioning when they're working out. They want to listen to their music because Mr. Dan's music is awful according to them. I said, well, you can maybe have them change the channel, but that's not the music they want to listen to. So they came in with a plea. I told them to write up a proposal. I haven't received that yet. So that's a little bit of a glitch. Also, some students really do like to study with music in their ears. So we're talking about that tomorrow at our staff meeting, just to see what, if anything, we would change or do. So the feedback from the public has been very positive. I mean, the dentist office was a buzz this morning when I went there about it. They were excited. So I think things are going very successful. So yeah. Lunchroom update. So we went to one lunch, and it's a lot better today than it was last week. So we have a plan where the 6th through 8th grade comes in first, 9 through 12 gets to go hang out in the gym and be active. Then when the lunch staff needs time to restock the salad bar, get the new quantities out, or the new food that meets the requirements for 9 through 12. So then we just let them wait and hang out and play, and then about 10 minutes later they come in, and then it kind of shifts. The 6th grade through 8th graders go outside. So it's always a work in progress with that many kids, and it depends on what's being served sometimes. If there's a lot more 9th graders than there are, or 10 through 12 than there are in the past. So there were some bumps. Yep, but we're getting them kind of ironed out. So I don't know, maybe you've heard about that from your kids. So okay, Kathleen Jordan project. I don't think I shared that one correctly, but I think the most important thing that people are wondering what our involvement is. All of our 5th through 12th graders are going on a walking tour of this project. on Friday morning. So we're gonna do an internal 2-hour late start because we didn't want to mess with the schedule so much that you didn't get to see every teacher on Friday. So we have kids going by advisory. They'll start in different locations. And it's just a self-guided tour, so there's presenters at each station, there's lots of information. They hosted an event this summer that a few staff went to at the Pioneer Public TV station, so the information is like very, very interesting, how much they've uncovered about her contribution to getting rid of, as close as they can, tuberculosis. So yeah, lots of local connections to it. So we'll be out and about on Friday morning, and then you can see what will be at each one of the different spots for them to see. So they did not get a cow. They wanted a cow, but they have a fake, like cardboard type cow now instead. So I don't know, that was a big deal. So if you're interested, Thursday after school for all Wyoming staff, they can go through the tour from 3 to 7. So they have a little bit better understanding what's gonna happen with our kids. And then they'll earn, I think it's 1 CEU, Lisa? 1 continuing ed credit for doing that too as well. So, yeah, excited for that. So we're talking about that tomorrow as a staff as well. Number 4 is sale. I wanted to talk about that tonight. Not ready to really talk about that tonight, so I put a strike through on it without anyone's permission, but, SAIL is Student Agency and Learning. It's a professional development program by West Ed that MDE is offering. We are waiting for feedback from other schools that have gone through this process before we might consider doing it ourselves. And with the first week of school, they're just probably not able to respond to me quite yet, so more to come. I can't spell internship. Okay. Another thing I wanted to share that's really cool in middle school, high school is, I'm not sure if we're calling it apprenticeship or internship program. It's above and beyond what an OJT is. We've partnered with, and we still have more things. Rich is on the path of getting it all ready to go for us. So, for example, we have a student that is going to be doing, I'll say internship now, as a mechanic in Hanley Falls. So his schedule might be done at 12:30 in the afternoon, and then he goes and does like apprentice type training with that. We have another student out at Spec Systems, one at Royer Construction, one at the Fagan Airport, because he knows that right now he wants to be an airplane mechanic. And then one is doing an aviation private pilot instruction course, online, blended, and working also with Fagan, so that's pretty cool. And then another one out at Spec Systems. So they're responsible, if they want to do this, they have to go find the contractor, they have to work with them, they have to meet, make a plan. We don't have everything perfectly ironed out yet, but I think sometimes, I don't know if school gets in the way of kids, but we need to find a way to facilitate what they really want to do. Instead of, like the one kid said, I don't want to take this elective, I want to learn how to be a better welder so I can have a better future. So, pretty excited about that. So if you have any businesses that are interested in helping out with that, let Rich or I know. So, and Leah has been the lead on a lot of this, so she gets the credit for that, Leah Schuler. So, now to the fun thing. On the bottom, I put a bunch of pictures from the Facebook page. I left them large of our YNE band.
Unfortunately, we uploaded this as a PDF, so they don't.
Oh, well, the pictures are really good. I talked to a lot of the band kids today. They were easily identifiable because they were all sunburned.
Yes.
And they were outside from 6 a.m. till whatever time it was, but they were just beaming. They're like tired, but they were so excited, and what an opportunity for them. And thank you to the chaperones and the bus drivers, and especially to Mr. Osmond. He had that nailed. Like, he was so professional about how to do this and how to manage those kids. And I'm like, I just don't lose any of them. Like, there's a lot of people on the floor. So, yeah, so if you get a chance to talk with him, very exciting opportunity for our kids. Like, it gets me emotional, actually. So, I'll be quiet now. So So something they want to do, they have been told that the seniors to share their voice in how they want to make YME a better place for seniors and all students. So one particular student came and talked to me about painting senior parking spots. Other schools do this, that's why they now want to do this. Other schools usually have this done in early August, but I just was waiting to see if anybody really wanted to do this. So I'm bringing it to you for some input. Hopefully you can click on that document. Really? That's so rude of me. Okay, so how about this?
Here, I'm gonna share it to them.
Can you share, I'm so sorry. Last week was, Lisa and I were leaving on Friday and then we were both, do you have your board report button? I'm like, that's Monday?
I mean, you guys had a little bit going on last week.
It was
That's
great.
understandable.
And literally, it was a really great week. And however many days we've been here, last week was first week. It was awesome. It was a great start, so.
I heard from a teacher, Stacy, that it was the best, they think it's the best first year that they've ever had here.
Oh,
So that was
That's
good to hear.
nice.
Yeah.
yeah, cool. So now that you have this document, I reached out to a couple area schools and they've been doing this for a while and they had ironed out a lot of the bugs that we may not have thought of. So there's some basic requirements there with Monday to September 23rd being the last cutoff day at 4 o'clock, because I'll be standing out there, I guess, with a bullhorn, I don't really know, but, and the only part I have left blank right now is the part that says you must use the blank. I'm not sure, I'll talk with Rich and Francis after you guys have some more input about specifically where we want them, or do we allow them to choose wherever they want to go. So the materials are it's very specific design criteria. They'd have to get a design approved by me. I'm not going to have them email it to me. I'm going to have them come and visit with me and print or draw it and turn it into the high school office. If they don't stick to that, then we're just going to paint in black. So I'm pretty sure we can handle that. Then the painting process is very specific. These people have been doing this a lot longer than I have, so I took a lot of their great ideas. And then there's just the application form. If kids wanted to just draw it or print it, they could just turn something like this in. And then I did meet with them and show them a map of what the parking spaces look like. This is from the graduation ceremony of 2020, that fun one that I participated in. So I'm excited because there's a lot of, I would say, student voice right now in the school. Mr. Davidson and Mrs. Goldberg have run elections for class officers. The kids want to be them. Today I got offered money in the line for lunch if they could pay me off to vote for them to be on the executive council, and I said no, but he really wants to be in a leadership position, so it's really exciting. So, what do you think?
You have assigned parking spots that they would be taking?
So, some people do it, they'll know tomorrow and it's first come, first serve. Here is where you can pick from. One school said, anything out there is fair game. They won't come over here and they're not gonna go in front of the elementary just because that's where the staff park. But according to a senior, it was a big deal because last Thursday there was a sophomore parking in her spot. And
Her spot.
Yeah, and I said, well, maybe they weren't aware that it was your spot.
We should use this as a fundraiser.
Yeah, sure. You wanna paint your spot?
Yeah, there's a few involved.
Yeah.
I
So
was
anyway.
teasing.
I don't know, I am not sure. I don't want to assign them because I want them to take a lot of control in this, and then they'll they'll be upset if they don't get to park by Ron, because I always park by Ron or something like that, so. I don't think custodial is too excited about this idea, but
Yeah, I would guess we're probably gonna, I guess I'm probably gonna pick the areas.
Yes.
I don't think we'll let them
go
paint
anywhere.
right next to the building.
Right next to you. But
I
you walk.
don't drive.
You walk.
If they're painting next to me, they're on my driveway, so then we'll have.
Sure, that would be a good conversation.
Do you anticipate like any controversy with this as far as like somebody parks in their spot? Like, are we thinking that the kids will be super excited and there won't be any issues?
I don't think so, I think they'll know
Yeah.
that, oh, that's a senior spot.
And then
You know, I'll
a
get
senior
to.
someday and I'll get to do it
Yeah.
too,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, some of the kids were like, what am I supposed to do? I don't drive.
Well, they don't need a spot then.
Yeah.
do
I said, well, maybe paint under my spot, my car, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what they come up with.
Yeah.
If I go back to last year when we talked about graduation and, you know, I thought we were gonna have some concerns over graduation and they were absolutely respectful and, they were pretty excited about this, so. The reason for the date is because that's the first day of homecoming, so it, doesn't give them a lot of time.
And they're gonna buy the paint and
Yep.
everything.
No process.
I was
We have
wondering,
sufficient spots for staff in order to
We do.
do.
Yep, good question, though, yep.
I was also wondering, like, just because the art club or somebody paints downtown,
Mhm.
so like, is there connection to that, those paints kind of gradually? They stay pretty good and then they just wear off.
They wear off. The other schools I talked to said, I said, how many do you have to paint black at the end of the year? And they said, none. It's pretty much gone by the end of the year.
And why doesn't our janitorial staff want this? I mean, are they
Well, I
thinking-
mean, I'm paint and kids, I think that combination scares most people. So
They're not 5.
no,
Should be
it was
good.
just, yeah, I'm sure they're worried about cleanup, because you can see in the language here that don't leave your paint cans here, you can't go in the school, you
Oh,
can't
right.
use, I can see where it would try to get into the school, so.
Mm.
Yep.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I do want to encourage them to feel empowered by making decisions here too, not just being told what to do.
Yeah, like, why can't we try it and see how it goes? And, you know, like anything else, if it becomes a huge issue, then you say, we're done, you know?
Give them the opportunity to start a new tradition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not? It's not hurting anybody,
No.
anything.
So,
It
kind of
goes
cool.
away.
I think it's something we can do to really start, or continue or even improve on school pride, taking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to make a motion, or do we have to put it on? What do we have to do for that?
We need a motion.
Yeah, the administrative discretion unless no addresses.
I trust her.
I know it was brought up before and it got shut down pretty bad, probably 4 years ago. And I know that kind of bothered the kids because obviously they look at other schools and so I think this is very exciting.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like, we do that, because you moved that.
Yeah, okay. Next year maybe we'll have it done before school starts, but it's kind of energizing for them to get here and get excited.
Mrs. Sims, when do they do the painting? Really during the school?
Outside of the school day.
So say, otherwise we'd love to go and watch. They would like to help.
I know the kids that have OJT, they're like, can we go? I'm like, "No, I know what that's gonna turn into, so, outside of the day. The parents are equally, some of the parents are very excited. too.
Love the idea.
Anything else you want from me? I'll do better with my links.
It's all right, we saw
I
it.
promise.
Yeah, we did get it.
Okay,
I even got to see the cool pictures.
Oh.
Those came in through too, so, great.
very awesome. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Schneider.
You want to sleep here. So Lisa kind of gave you an idea of where we're at with staffing, so we're really looking still, even though I didn't list it on my thing, we're looking for a title teacher, so we'll do our best to try and get that covered. But then on top of that, we still have a food service position and a custodian position that are unfilled. So, still looking for those, so if you know some good candidates. MCA scores, I put that in my report, kind of gave you an idea. I get that information from the Minnesota report card, so last spring we kind of gave you an idea. This is where we were sitting and that's where we ended up. So this is the official results there. You can see where we're at, and so you're aware, you can look it up, Minnesota Report Card. If you have questions about that, I'd be glad to show you where that is and how to look at things. A lot of information there. So with that in mind, our district QComp goal is listed there also. So it's a 2% increase over last spring to this coming spring for the QComp to be able to meet that goal. CEO program ended up with 7 students in there, only 1 from YME, but 3 each from Lakeview and Montevideo. They've been meeting for a period of time here at Granite Falls Energy. They'll start moving around. Tomorrow morning, it's my intent, unless something comes up, I will meet them out there and see how the class is going for them. A bunch of us from the board are intending to go out there and just kind of check with the students, let them brag on themselves, see how they're learning. So, enrollment analysis. So this summer we get information from MDE on our final 23-24 stuff. There is an attachment on Board Book that shows you the detail of that. I think I share this with you every year. A few interesting things. Our total enrollment remains in decline, but is declining less than it was. So that's good. If you go to our enrollment report that you had in your consent agenda, you can actually see that from May of last year to September of this year, last Thursday, we're up actually 11. But from September of last year to September of this year, we're up 12. So we're kind of trending up. A lot can change in the school year. So some of that's real time. The enrollment report actually shows you the average data. So maybe I'm in here, my wife and I went through it over the weekend just to kind of pick some of her brain and see, well, how does somebody outside of our school look at this? Because this is kind of important with our building consideration. So she thought it was interesting, the open enrollment stuff. So you look at, for example, Lakeview. We send 207.2 of our kiddos to Lakeview. They, on the other hand, send 11.92 of their kiddos to us. So the net loss is 195 students. There are districts where it's the other way around, just not to that extreme. Lakeview is really, and has always, since before I was here, has always had a much better enrollment gain than we have. But RCW, for example, we received 32.77 of their kiddos, and they get 1 of our kiddos. So that's a pretty positive thing there. McRae's kind of close to that. We send 8.18, but we receive 15.77. So we have a net gain there of about 7.59. Montevideo is a little bit like Lakeview in that we send, or 83.23 of our students go to Montevideo, but 16.51 of their kiddos last year, this is all last year's information, came here. So we have a net loss of about 66.72. And so a little bit of skewed data there in favor of Montevideo and Lakeview. Questions about that ADM analysis? So,
That's interesting, thank you for sharing the other districts too, because I think we just kind of think of the big, 2 big schools and don't think of the other.
yeah. So really, those are the only 4 districts that significantly impact us. So Dawson Boyd, we don't get any really back from there, and we do lose some to them. So I just didn't have them on there. Immunization information. So we have been remiss with our enforcement of immunizations. And we're going to tighten down because it just takes too much time. we're gonna have to put a hard line. Right now, the administration and I talked about October 1st. We're gonna nail down a date. I thought October 1st would be a good one, but in talking to Cassie, we're wondering if that's not enough time to get the appointments. Now understand, people can still not immunize, so if they want to conscientiously object to it, they can come in. Denise will help notarize that statement, and we'll just put it in our records. Even if a person just can't get the appointment and, hey, I'm planning to do it later, still notarize it, and then we'll get the new information and get rid of that document. We just need to, it's just taking up too much of our time, okay? Little technology things about your two-factor authentication. I haven't talked to Scott, and I'm not policing it, but hopefully you folks are getting that done. We now have InfoSec training, and you probably got that email too. I don't know if you watched those. I actually thought they were pretty good, kind of interesting, a little bit entertaining. Maybe that makes me a nerd, but it's good stuff for people to know. That's why you don't open up a link that you're not expecting, etc. So
I saw the emails for the two-factor authentication, and we go through all of this training at the county. We've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now. So when I saw that, it will look pretty generic. It looked like a link I wasn't gonna click on because
Okay.
I looked suspicious of it.
Until
you got the
Until
email
you-
and said,
yeah.
hey, do it, and I'm like, okay, this is real. I just figured it was junk.
Okay.
So, because it looked real generic.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to make it look, but
I don't know.
next time we do
I
it,
don't know
maybe
either.
I
Yeah,
just
maybe
need
just a
to
heads
look
up, hey,
at
that you'll be
that
seeing
link.
this, so we know it's not spam or
Okay.
suspicious.
All right, we met with Countryside Public Health to talk about the Minnesota Student Survey. We haven't committed to it. Very long survey. We don't get a lot out of it. I don't know where we're at yet. I know Countryside Public Health wants us to do it, that's for sure. And I don't blame them, because once you get that gap in the survey data, you'll never get it back. It's like skipping the MCA's 1 year, which we did. You never get that trend data back, so. Friday was our first 1 o'clock release for PLCs. I thought, I guess I looked on the cameras. I was kind of deep in trying to get the board stuff ready and didn't walk around the building, but I didn't see kiddos wandering around the building, and thank goodness I didn't see teachers wandering around the building either, so. All right, questions for me?
I just had a question, and it kind of ties, but it's about substitutes. What, could you just share with us, like, what would be a qualification for somebody that would maybe be interested in substitute teaching?
A 4-year degree.
Any 4-year degree in anything, and
Anything.
we'll help, we'll pay for it, we'll help do the paperwork.
A 4-year degree, or the?
No,
Well,
okay,
Well,
wait, we will not pay for a
no,
4-year degree.
but there's a process, there's like a, they do
Yeah,
application.
so if you
and-
contact Tara or me, or if you contact me, Tara and I will figure out how to get people on with that.
I think
There
it's
are
just
a few
helpful 'cause-
exceptions, we can use some things with CTE stuff, but most people in that field are more than employed, so.
I think what people need to understand is you do not have to be a teacher.
Right.
You could have a 4-year degree in diesel mechanics and come in and sub in kindergarten. Literally. We'll take them.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yep.
No, I think that's helpful for.
It's
for
over,
people.
yep. Well, and then how about paras? I mean, I
Para,
know you
there's
guys are
no-
short, there's
No.
nothing.
Background
there's
check.
Background check and that's,
And we,
Yeah.
remember, we pay for the background check.
okay, that's good to put that out there too, because I know you're short paras as well.
Yep, so.
So they just can contact you or Tara if they're interested.
Yeah, I mean, you can contact the principals too, whoever their interested in, whoever will get them to at least consider it, and then we can start talking.
That's helpful, thank you.
And one thing I'll say like about the certified, even if they're afraid that maybe a full day is too much, we'll take them for 2 hours or a half a day. We do that all the time.
Sounds like, yeah, you have to already kind of piecemealing it together.
All the time.
Did you have something to say? I thought you were going to say.
Oh, just the fact that a mom I talked to the other day, she's like, I don't wanna work every day, and I said, that's the beauty of Brad Broker. You look at it, you decide, you're in charge, we're not in charge, so hopefully she comes back.
Exciting. Any other questions for Mr. Schrader?
Well, thank you for, those questions are good, it's good for people to hear that.
Right. Yeah, thank you. All right, moving on to committee reports. Looks like Buildings and Grounds met on August 21st.
I can give an update on that.
Perfect.
So, I wouldn't say it was a short meeting, but we didn't have as many topics to discuss as we have in the past, so it was nice. Talked about the fire inspection process. If you remember a while back, we said that they were trying to figure out the BRE stage curtains, if we could find some certification on that, so we keep those a little longer, and we did find another 2-year certification with the dates, so we bought a little time there to try to figure those, replacement for those. The fire alarm update, we still are having trouble with the fire alarm. It's working, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, but Rich and Francis are keeping paying continually. There's a motherboard issue, and the fire alarm system is a brand which they don't make parts for anymore, so we're having trouble sourcing a repair for it. So hopefully we can find a solution with this in our building study we're doing. HVAC, did Francis find the part yet?
No, we thought we had it, but it was the wrong model, and he just called today and still no.
It's a control part for the chiller that's causing the trouble with the AC, and he has to keep manually overriding it to keep it running, and he can't do it remotely, so that's causing some issue. And he's having trouble overriding it sometimes too, is that correct?
Well, no, he's gotta override it each hour to make sure that it's not in a situation where it's gonna freeze up. So, cause if he freezes up, likely gonna do damage.
So the search is on to continue to try to keep that fixed.
So that's why you're not getting cooled right now.
Summer project updates, the building letters up before school starts, are they up?
No,
No.
they were supposed to be here before the first day.
Right.
Yeah, we're getting a sales pitch.
We're talking about the ones above the front door.
Right.
Correct,
Right,
yeah.
Schwickert's was the contractor, the roofing contractor was the one that we hired to do it, and they just aren't getting it done. The tuck pointing was complete, we walked around, took a look at it, it looks pretty good. The door replacements, obviously you see the door here is replaced, and then the one at
I
the.
was gonna ask, I'm like.
I noticed that
Yeah.
too.
Like,
How do I get it?
nice.
And
Yeah,
then,
how do I get
Where's the
in?
badge thing? Where's the key fob thing? Right?
and then the other one is the, new gym door, correct? I have not been over there
The
to see
new
it.
gym door.
And so Tim is going to get the new screen for that, but it's gonna take a little bit.
It was the main door. that
The
we
main
put
Yeah,
in.
the main door had some issues, yep.
Remember that
Yep.
had a screen on it?
Yep.
And then they were working on the main gym lighting and getting some motion sensors in the gym. We did a little facilities review. I don't remember what we did for that even, Rich, do you?
I think we just talked about that was coming up for that
Meeting.
meeting.
Parking lot signage, they have a list of signs that they want to update in the parking lot, just every so often they get old and faded and cracked and need to be refreshed, so they're working on that. I think there's also some cones and some other barricades they'd like to get, so they have more of that. There was some wish list items for lawn care sprayer mower that we talked about. Nothing set yet, just discussions we had on it. And then we reviewed our capital outlay and long-term facilities maintenance list. Went through that a little bit about where we're at with that, and we've actually made some pretty good progress on it. So we'll continue to review, and as the year goes on, that's all we discussed. Ron, you remember anything more?
moves us into new business, and so we will start with the personnel items. Let's get to that. So let's do the leave requests and resignations first. We have 2 resignations and leave of absence request. Resignation for long-term substitute teacher Julie Rudia, and food service Lori Knudsen, and a leave of absence request for BRE paraprofessional Elisa Hidalgo. Is there a motion to accept those?
Make a motion to accept.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any questions?
So that third one there, that leave of absence came in late today, that's why it's not in the agenda analysis.
Her letter is,
Yeah.
I did see. Do we have a second? Yes.
Well, yeah,
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. And we have some new hires, that's exciting. Long-term substitute teacher Trish Jessen, assistant maintenance supervisor Jeff Partington, middle school, high school paraprofessional Ari Stokes. Hope I said that right. BRE paraprofessional Amanda Aurelius, girls tennis coach Ann Clark. Do we have a motion to approve those employments?
Motion by LeBlanc to approve.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any questions about any of those appointments? Yeah, we're excited to see them. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 2 under new business is to approve the 2024-26 contract agreement with MSEA employees.
Okay, we've been working on that for a while, they passed their vote, and so I ask that you approve it as such.
A motion to approve the MSEA employee contract for 24-26.
Motion to approve by Sample.
Any second?
Second by Winter.
Any questions?
Happy to have it done.
I just wanna say thank you to, I missed that meeting and I found out you guys worked out a deal and it went very quickly, so that was really nice to see everybody working so well together. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Certified maximum preliminary levy for 24 pay 2025.
Just as a reminder, we usually certify the maximum, and then we can always adjust it in December, right? So,
All right, so we're looking for a motion to certify the maximum preliminary levy for 2024 pay 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is to designate truth in taxation hearing date, December 9th, 2024 at 6 p.m., usually held before our board meeting. Any other comments about that?
no, it's statutorily required, so.
All right, we have a motion to designate that date of December 9th,
Motion by Sample.
and a second.
Second by LeBlanc.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Policy update, there are none. We do have a policy committee meeting coming up on September 16th, 5:30. Discussion items, the facilities meeting that was held September 4th.
Yeah, so, several of you were there. I thought we had good attendance. We had 43 in the afternoon of staff members, or at least that's what we have on our sign-in sheet, and then 68 in the evening, sign-in sheet. some people said between 70 and 80, so very good turnout for that. Lots of positive feedback. People are ready to hear something. Our next steps would be Preston Yearly is suggesting that we put together a focus group between 20 and 30 people. We did get some names from that list. We would like a broad base of that. 2 board members have spoken to Dawn, Matt, and Sonia. We would want to keep it 3 or less to make sure that we don't run into a problem with the quorum. No decisions are made. It's just an opportunity for people to give feedback. So there is opportunity for 1 more seat.
I'd take that seat.
Jeremy? Okay.
Unless somebody, it'd be nice to have somebody from the building ground coming down.
You can have that one.
Sure.
I'll give it.
So that kind of leads me to, we need to have an action item to formulate a facilities focus group, is what we talked about calling it.
Yeah, we just want to send the message to our community that
Yeah.
this is a big deal.
Mhm.
We're no longer just generally talking about it. We want to get some ideas
Mhm.
and bring you folks some advice back for when the decision is made.
So, can we just move right to the action item?
Yeah,
We can add it to the
I think
agenda
you
first.
would want to make a motion to add an action item.
Right, I think it's a 2-step.
Yep.
So is there a motion to add an action item to tonight's agenda to formulate a facilities focus group? And if so, I'm looking for that motion to add it to the agenda.
Motion by Zempel.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. So now it is added to the agenda. So now we have an action item to formulate a facilities focus group. Is there a motion to, what is the word? Formulate, there you go. Facilities focus group, and don't say that really 3 times fast. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
Second by Zempel.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I can add a little bit to that too, so I have probably close to 10 people, isn't that what that looks like, Denise? About 10 people that have volunteered. We want to make sure we have a cross-section. 11? We don't want it, we can't go beyond 30. We don't want anybody that's not a voter in our district, just simply, that just needs to be a strong part of this committee or this focus group. We don't have anybody from the agriculture, and I don't know, maybe there are a couple of those are business owners, but those are the 2 that will be 2 groups that will be burdened the most taxpayer-wise. Or they may not be burdened the most, but may have the most cost questions. So that's what Preston is suggesting. So if you know of some of those, if you want me to reach out to them, send it to me. If you want to reach out to them, even if they're a naysayer, that's okay. I was talking to Dawn, I probably will reach out to the city manager of Clarkfield and see, maybe I can appear on their agenda and talk to a few of them. Maybe get a couple of them to be a part of this, because I know they have felt left out in the past.
All for any of the city managers in our district.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for support from the board at those meetings, let me know.
Okay.
Sounds good. Other thoughts, comments, questions?
Any other thoughts about the facilities committee meeting? Good article in the paper. Was that Friday, Saturday, today?
In the West Central.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It was in the MSBAE clippings, because I got a whole bunch of emails from colleagues and,
Well, I think that the meeting went very well, and I think people were very excited afterwards, was my general impression. Like, they're ready to
Do something.
do something, yeah.
Well, and have a voice, and
Absolutely,
I
yep.
really like the approach of going to the communities and saying, what do you want us to do?
Mm-hmm.
Versus us just taking it to the vote.
Right.
I attended the staff meeting earlier in the day, and I was really impressed with the level of feedback and the positivity that came from the staff, so I appreciate that, thank you. I found it very helpful to listen to.
That's great. You guys can go do that. Other thoughts, comments?
I've been invited to a few places to speak, so start
Good.
going on the speaking circuit,
Good.
so.
Oh, nice. All right. There's no other discussion items and no correspondence. Upcoming events would be Buildings and Grounds Committee meets again on September 11th, 5:30. Policy Committee meets September 16th at 5:30. Homecoming week already, September 23 to 27. Should be very fun and excitement in the air. Curriculum Advisory Committee meeting, September 25th at 5:15. That's the first one for the year, I believe. Finance Committee meeting, October 2nd at 5:30. Early dismissal, staff development, October 4th at 1 p.m. That's another Friday, correct, right?
Yes.
Next board meeting is October 14th at 6 p.m. and no school for staff development, October 16th, which is also right before NEA or EM break, October 17th and 18th. A lot of things.
Before we move on and go back to facilities discussion we're having, a couple questions I did get from people was the information that was shared at the meeting, is that available on the website somewhere that they could see it?
Okay. Maybe what we need to do is across the front banner, so that there is stuff, and then as you folks see, get people asking about it, we should drop it in there.
Yep.
That'd be great.
I think that banner is nice too, because I think it's easy for people to see that. Sometimes it's hard to find,
Okay.
you know, unless you're really savvy, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to find what you're looking for, but the banner helps you at least get there.
Yeah, one thing I want to be careful, so my presentation was not meant to be marketing.
Yeah.
It's just, that comes after the focus group.
Right.
Right.
So, I'm not, I told everybody, yeah, sure, I'll come present to you folks, talk to you, but nothing has been decided, so
Mhm.
that's just
Right.
Yes.
Come
general
back.
information.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put both what the architect Jim Wilson shared with us and my presentation.
That would be great, it's a good idea. Other questions, thoughts?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Has the Native American Action been scheduled and set up yet?
No, I haven't.
I didn't see it either, but good question, I thought of that right there. All right, hearing nothing else, we